Recently, I have found myself going through quite a large transition. Moving halfway across the country left me feeling like I was in a foreign environment, and I realized I was drifting farther from my self-care practices. So today I decided to devote the day to incorporating old habits of self-care that I once had and re-implementing it in my life. Even just taking moments of silence and presence with myself goes a long, long way when you're constantly busy, as I am, and constantly finding myself attending to everything but myself. In the rising, I say my gratitude. I make my bed, I stare at the sun a little bit just to drop into the present moment rather than rushing to my to-do list. Also, water is very important and something I include in my self-care. Yoga has been my daily medicine for all of 2021. When I discovered just how rich internally it makes me feel, I realized it's something that I can't do without. It helps me ground myself. It helps me find peace in my center. It helps me be present with myself and my body and my mind. And it's a practice that really unites my mind, body, and spirit. I never knew just how powerful it would be, but I love it so much. As a part of my yoga practice, I also do breath work. This one you see is Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing, and it's really great for helping me relieve stress. It's amazing. Breakfast time, so I decided to treat myself. Instead of a quick breakfast, I made biscuits with jelly and sausage. Smack. But one thing about this that's very self-care to me is just taking the time to pour love into my food, because that is what I'll be eating. So I had a beautiful protein smoothie and my beautiful biscuit sandwich, which was delicious, by the way. And I just allowed myself to just sit and eat. Usually I'm on my phone or watching my laptop, but this time I just decided to vibe with the music. Another part of my self-care was doing my homework. It's been piling up, and that's been a causer of stress in my life. So as a way to say I love you to myself is instilling that discipline and getting some stuff done that I needed to get done. That's a part of self-care to me. And also this delicious dinner, I forgot to film myself making it, but it's like a bean dip with beans, a layer of cheese, salsa, obviously vegan cheese, guacamole, tomatoes, and onions. Making me hungry looking at it. But that was another act of self-care, because I had been eating out a lot for dinner the first several weeks of being, here in Maryland, close to DC. I just didn't really take the time to cook for various reasons. So making a beautiful dinner was such a lovely form of self-care. As a person that tends to get distracted sometimes by YouTube videos, turning my laptop off was definitely a form of self-care. I also decided to journal about all the things I had been going through that made me feel less like myself, but also all the things I was grateful for, just so that I can remain grounded and not dwell too much on the negative side. Taking time to do my own personal wellness and spiritual studies also really feeds my spirit, so I definitely took time to do that. Usually it gets pushed on the back burner amongst all my schoolwork. So taking time to read Sacred Woman definitely made me feel very centered. Next, I decided to fill up my diffuser, light the mood in my space with some lavender essential oil, and just create my space in a way that makes me feel very centered, grounded, and peaceful. Lavender is also a scent that helps ease the mind, relieve stress, and calm your body. A part of my winding down routine was also turning on my speaker, playing really chill music, and lighting my incense. This incense is called Abundance Incense. I can definitely link this in the description. I got it from a beautiful Black business owner. Taking time to thoroughly moisturize also is an act of self-care. Not that I don't tend to moisturize, but really taking time and using it as a practice to connect with self is an act of self-care. I wrapped up my night choosing some crystals to meditate with. I spoke my intentions and affirmations into them and then commenced to meditate. So I am concluding my day, I am wrapping up, hence why I'm in my bedtime clothes. I just did my meditation, which was pretty relaxing. I'm a little tired though, so it was kind of hard to focus mentally, but that's okay. I think it was good enough to just put the intention to sit down and do a meditation before bed, which is something I usually don't do. So that's just a part of me prioritizing self-care today, which is not just going to be today. I'm going to continue these beautiful habits I'm starting to do and really get back into the groove that I was once in when it comes to my self-care and little rituals and habits that I would do throughout the day. I'm really in a place of re-implementing and just getting back to that really good space, mental space, spiritual, emotional, physical space that I enter when I prioritize myself, when I prioritize my wellness, and when I prioritize good habits that structure it all, good habits that create the wellness, that create the routines, and that create just the sense of peace in my life, that make my inner space a place I can always find peace in despite what I'm going through externally. So as I explained before, I kind of just have been drifting away from that inner space within. So I'm returning to that, and the way that I'm doing that right now is by prioritizing these self-care practices, these spiritual practices, these health practices, wholesome practices that make me feel whole and centered and grounded and like my full self, like that make me feel like me. And that may sound weird, but sometimes we feel like, or me at least, sometimes I don't feel like me when I'm not doing the things that help me thrive, when I'm not practicing the things that I know are best for me, like my yoga. That is my daily medicine, and I was at a place where I was doing it every day for months and months and months. But I've been going through a major life shift. I just moved across the country, halfway across the country to Maryland, actually, all the way from Minneapolis for school. I go to Howard, as many of you know. And I'm staying in Maryland. It's really close to DC though, where I'm staying, but that required me to move, pack up my stuff from my past apartment, move into my mom's house, then pack it from her house and fit as much as I could with me into like my backpack, carry-on, and the rest into boxes that were shipped to me. So my whole moving process was done alone in terms of moving in and packing and all that, but most of all moving in, I did that alone while juggling being the captain of a dance team, doing rehearsals, performances, doing the first few weeks of school, juggling assignments and unpacking boxes, and just for a moment slightly losing the grasp of my overall wellness, physical, mental, spiritual, because I wasn't doing those practices that helped me be grounded, because I felt like I was in a foreign environment, an environment that was not familiar to me, and I didn't have those things, those physical things that I hold on to help create space for myself. But it really taught me that I don't need external things in order to return to my safe space, which originates within. Now all those things help, of course, but it taught me to be able to go within no matter my environment. But of course, things like my yoga mat are essential because my yoga practice is my daily medicine. It is something I swear by. I'm actually in the process of doing yoga teacher training because I want to spread this even more into my community and amongst friends and family and etc. So yes, the physical things can be important, but a takeaway was my safe space is me. It's within me. I have to just retune to my internal landscape and return to the peace that lies at the core of my being. So I know that was a lot, but those are just some of my takeaways from this time period I've been in. Basically the month of August, I'd say, has been the transition period. So during this transition period, I definitely had let go for a second of my self-care practices that make me feel whole and grounded and rooted in myself. But I'm thankful for that because it just gave me opportunity to come back even stronger and to grow even more with my self-development and to come to more realizations and implement new things into my practice and my rituals, my routine. One last thing that I'll say is when I was journaling earlier, I was thinking about what I want my days to look like, how I want them to feel. And one of my biggest takeaways was I really want to ritualize every aspect of my day. I want to do everything with intention, bring gratitude within or into all of my actions, bring joy and love into my actions, and not do things robotically or on autopilot or just to do them, but really feel the deeper meaning in the little things. Like I was doing yoga and I did upward facing dog and my plant wound up kind of in my face, but I took that as a moment to just drop into the present and to really telepathically communicate with my plant, like, you're looking beautiful today, you're looking full of life. Thank you for the oxygen you give, etc. But just taking little moments to acknowledge the present and to acknowledge the things that make the present moment, and to give thanks for it. So, yep, part of my self-care, or all of my self-care, will revolve around ritualizing every aspect of my day so I can be more in the present, bring gratitude to everything I do, and be in a mental place, space, and awareness to connect with myself, spirit, ancestors, and the creator. So that is all I have for you. Sorry for the low speaking. It is very late right now and I don't want to disturb my roommates. But yeah, that is all. Thank you so much for watching my video. Once again, it is Kedasar, love, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace and love.